What's up, Scrappy peeps? Welcome to Grab 5, but it's a subscriber edition. Woohoo! So what I've done is from all of your beautiful happy mail that you've sent me to my PO box, I've picked out 5 things from subscribers and I'm going to use them in a layout this week, a Project Life layout this week, and then a layout next week. So the first one is from the beautiful Alice, who's my Alabama bestie, or over there on the other side of the world. And Alice absolutely spoils me. You absolutely spoil me, Alice, and I can't thank you enough. You are just gorgeous. So this is the Bloom crepe paper chipboard that I really wanted to get my hands on. The next one is from Mariana. I hope I'm saying your name right. And she wrote me this beautiful card and sent me some Tim Holtz Small Talk Tiny Word stickers. Next up, from the lovely Vivian, I've got these little acrylic little bunnies, and there's some white ones and some gold shiny ones, and they're just beautiful. They look just like the shape of Frida when she sits up. It's her exact shape with their sticky up little ears. Very cute. So this was the gold shiny one, and they've just got a coat, like a protective paper on the back that you can just put glue on, and then there's a white solid as well. But they're very cute. Boing, 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 the bunnies. I was saying to Aaron before that I think this week's Project Life will have nothing but bunnies, because that's all I've done all week, is just cuddle the bunnies. This next one is from Samantha, and she hand stamped these little bunnies, which are cute, and I think she hand cut them out. Did you hand cut them out, Samantha? Because that's a lot of time. And the next one is from Rebecca. Rebecca sent me a pocket letter, so I took out all of the goodies from that and put them in one little bag, and I'm classifying it as one item. Yes, I'm cheating. So let's see what I make. I'm doing a 9x12 pocket protector page. That's an alliteration. Pocket protector page, and this is the last week of March. Now, I have this little collection of cards that sit on my desk, and because I didn't pick any items that had like paper or cards to them, I decided to be lazy and just try and reach for what was in arm's reach so that I could just quickly plonk some cards in. Now, I knew I had to use that bunny one. That bunny one was from someone too. I have a feeling, Michelle, I think you gave me that bunny card at a retreat. I think you did. So there's a bonus little subscriber, little awesomeness thing in there too. This one is a card I don't know where from. Could be Scraptastic, could be Studio Calico, either one. And it says 2 words, and it's a photo of Frida. And Frida, my bunny, if you don't know, I have 2 house bunnies, and they're not very bunny-like. They're rather cat-like. And so this is Frida, who's one of her favourite spots is to sit on the back of our lounge and look out the window like a freaking cat. So I put 2 words, cheeky bugger, because she is an absolute cheeky bugger. Just before I filmed this voiceover, I had to stop. I started before, and I had to stop because she started licking the leg of my pajama pants really profusely, and then tried to dig through my pajama pants into the couch. So I had to stop for a moment and remove the cheeky bugger to a more safer spot for voiceover time. So I'm just adding some really simple journaling, and a couple of people have asked where I got my crown pen from. I just typed crown pen into eBay, and there's 2 different types that I could see. There's a stripy one that's a bit thicker and a bit smoother to write with, and then there's a polka dot one that is a really thin, like 0.01, I think. Really thin. This next photo is of this incredible lightning show that we had. It was a storm, but it wasn't really a storm. There was no rain. There was no real thunder. It was just a lightning bonanza. And so, letters just appeared. Aaron and I, you know the movie Twister, where the people drive into the twister and let off the ping pong balls and try and chase the twister. And I know there's people who do that on, like, is it Tornado Alley, where in America, where there's lots of tornadoes and people go and chase them. Aaron and I felt a bit like that. We were really bored. It was like a Friday night. We were at home in our pajamas. So we decided to go on a bit of a card trip and try and chase the lightning storm. Perfectly safe. It was perfect. It was out over the ocean. But we drove around for about half an hour to find the best vantage point and then just parked and watched lightning for a good 20 minutes. It was incredible. So this was back in March. If there's any other Central Coasty peeps that remember a really big lightning storm at the end of March, early April, let me know. But it was absolutely amazing. So added some hardy shine and I'm all done. This is a photo of my big fatty Boomba, Poppet. And she decided that her new favourite spot to lie was on top of my slippers, which, of course, that's the first place that you'd think of for a comfortable spot, wouldn't you? These little slippers are really cute. My mum bought them for me. They're little reindeers, and I wear them all year round. Doesn't matter that it's not Christmas. It's still Christmas in my heart. So I just love that Poppet they really are like cats. You know how cats sit on your keyboard when you're trying to type something? That's what Poppet will do. Poppet will go and sit or stand in the most inappropriate, awkward spot. Like if you're trying to get something out of the fridge, you just think about it and then all of a sudden, bam, she's in front of the fridge. If you want to pull something off a shelf, bam, she's in front of the shelf. She just has a way of reading your mind and knowing where to disrupt your next action in order to intercept you and get more pats. That's what I think anyway. I think so. It's too much of a coincidence for it just to be coincidence. So this next card is just a bit of journaling. And I added some chipboard from that Bloom chipboard page, and it says some bunny loves you, and I add that little gold little bunny, or I don't. I think I saved that up for another one. I decided this card needed a little bit of something to feel like everything was contained. It was a bit too, I don't know, open, I guess. And I try and pull that heart out for so many pages, and it just goes back in. I will use it eventually, but it's one of those things that I keep pulling out, putting back in, pulling out, putting back in. So then I put gold Heidi Shine over my journaling and I try and wipe it off and I smudge it. But you know what? You just got to move on. You just got to go with the flow. This next one is someone put on Instagram this picture and tagged me in it, and I thought it was really, really funny because it's a little hip-hopping bunny. And if you don't know, I love my gangster rap and hip-hop. That's all I listen to, and I'm obsessed with bunnies. So this was made for me. It was just destined that I was tagged in this photo. So I added that quoted from Rebecca's little pocket letter that she sent me. And I think I used those acetate, Vegemite scroll. It must have been afternoon tea time. So I had a Vegemite scroll for afternoon tea. Now this warning, if you punch things from acetate, it flies everywhere. So these triangles, I think they were Pink Fresh. I had some in a hip kit a while back, and then Rebecca put some in her pocket letter, and I love the patterns on them, but I really struggle with the shape of a triangle. I don't know what it is. Circles, they're my homeboy. I love circles. I can do anything with circles. Squares, I'm good with squares. Rectangles, all good. But give me a triangle or a hexagon, I just can't always make them work. So I decided to punch out little hearts with them. And I added a chipboard heart from the Bloom collection, as well as that little green one. And then, do I add this pink one? Do I move it around a lot? And then I think, bam, put it down. Just put it down and move on. This was quite an indecisive layout, I must admit. I haven't been scrapping a lot lately, and I did this one about a week ago, but I was feeling a little indecisive about what to do. When in doubt, add some Heidi Shine. So this is Heidi Swap Colour Shine, which I love to use in the gold. And be careful, I shake it on camera, but then I pause it and shake it for about 5 more minutes. It really needs a whole lot of shaking, because otherwise you get this weird ring of, kind of looks like an oil ring around the outside of the gold splatter. So only the gold has done it to me so far. I have a lot of other colours, but it seems to only be the gold. In this card, I got a package from Studio Calico. I think this is when I bought all of my extra albums. So I bought a whole heap of 9x12 albums, because that's what I use for my project life. And the only 2 places that I know that I can get them from are Studio Calico and A Beautiful Mess, if you're ever looking for them. And Studio Calico had, I think it was was something crazy, like 50% off their albums, I think it was. And so I decided to buy out as many as I could for the rest of the year, because with shipping and the exchange rate, with the exchange rate and shipping, it's just easiest. If I'm going to buy from overseas, I have to buy big, because otherwise it's not worth it. So I added the cards there. This one is yet another experimental meal when you just feel like potato and you need to justify the potato by adding a whole lot of random vegetables, and the only meat that you have in your fridge is some sausages. So this was a little bit of a toss together meal. Now I feel like potatoes. It's so unfortunate. Does anyone else do this? I seem to do, if I'm looking at Pinterest or YouTube in bed, I always seem to find myself looking at potatoes. I don't know what it is. I could start off looking at junk journals and end up on potatoes. I can start on Pinterest looking at home decor ideas for the lounge room and end up on potato recipes. It's like the potatoes are calling out to me. I think I'm going to have to make a late night potato snack now. Yep, it's going to happen. So here I'm just putting hello yum because I didn't really want to journal. There's nothing really to journal. It's just that I like food, and here's a photo of some food. Sometimes photos don't need journaling. There's no story to tell, even though I just told you a story for about a minute about potatoes. But it wasn't an important one enough to me to put in my album. So this is my title card, and I tried for a little. Did I try for a little while, or did I imagine trying and I couldn't do it? I thought about putting my title card in a different position on my page protector, but I have something in my head. I have to put it in that top left-hand corner just so I know what's happening. And this card was actually the back of the previous one. So I'm just adding a little chipboard pinwheel and one of those bunnies from Samantha and sticking that down. I was tempted to colour these bunnies in because they look like, they feel like they're on watercolour paper. They're really beautiful, thick, like texture, I guess you could say. So I might try and do that with some in the future. I've got them on my desk. I've got a little container of bunny things, so whenever someone sends me a bunny something, it goes in the bunny box. So I'm just trying to work out what alphabets to put on, because it was a tiny space and I didn't want to, that heart's down now, Adele, no changing it. I didn't want to use thickers because they'd be too big, because I had to spell out March and April because it was a crossover week that went over the end of March. And so I couldn't really use thickers because they were just too big. So I decided to use these little Tim Holtz little ones. I don't know what they're called. Let's call them a little alpha. Glued on one of those hearts, and then it needed some hardy shine. Adding some shine down the bottom, some shine down the top. And I always like to do my splattering in a bit of a diagonal, and I made a huge mess of that hardy shine, of course. And then, as obvious as it is, why would anyone doodle after putting hardy shine everywhere? I would, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I always seem to do that whenever I want to do some doodling. I always just seem to do it in the worst time after I've put wet media onto my card. But yes. So I added another one of these little tiny small talk word stickers, and I glued it down because I don't trust sticker on wood veneer. I just don't. It's just a bit too rough, and they often come off. And I'm done, which is really exciting. Sorry about the glare. I filmed this on a nice sunny day, obviously. So let me show you bit by bit. I really like the colours, how everything kind of worked in well together, and there's those pops of white. So we've got the white bunny there, the white acrylic bunny, the white of the background of this Facebook post. I just like the pops of white on this one. There's my little fatty Boomba. Oh, someone asked in a previous video, what are those lines on Poppet? Poppet molts a lot. So every couple of months she molts and gets a new coat. and she molts in different patterns, so she'll have molt lines. That's what they are. So if you ever see Frida, it kind of blends in because she's more of a speckled grey colour, but poppets really stand out. So thanks for watching, guys, and please give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see some more subscriber editions of Grab 5, and I'll be back on Saturday with a Scrap Stash Saturday. Bye!